how's it going? How are you all? We start with these images from the United States showing force in the Caribbean, stating that an attack on Venezuela is now imminent. According to the latest report from Donald Trump himself and the White House, they claim that a move toward that country is imminent. Will it be by troops, claiming that they already know where they live? And, well, obviously this will have to be taken as just another comment, which will become just another talking point. Or will there be an operation at some point? According to the report, Donald Trump said the United States will launch ground operations against drug trafficking in Venezuela, assuring that their forces know where the people responsible live. The statement marks a new phase of Operation Southern Spear, after months of airstrikes on small vessels. Well, now they say they're ready for the operation. They say it could happen anytime after yesterday's meeting. It's imminent, says the president, who explains that the first steps will be to intercept the strategic routes used by the cartel. The men are almost done. Apparently not for the arrest of these boats. In a recent call with Maduro, they supposedly requested exit guarantees, an amnesty, and an end to the sanctions. Trump rejected most of the ultimatum's conditions. The ultimatum given to Maduro expired last Friday. So the operation could happen at any moment. What else is known about it?
Well, it is known, for example, that the operations have already caused, at least in terms of attacks on boats, people who may have lost their lives. And, well, it has generated a lot of international questions. The issue of Pete Hedges, the Secretary of War, does not end today. It was surprising that even though the day before he had said that he hadn't made the decision for the second attack on the survivors of September 2nd, regarding the boat in front of Trump, he said yes, that he had given the order. So he's in a really strange situation. It's really strange.
And notice that in 2016, Pete Hedges said the following. Let's listen to him.
We have to make sure that
they are held accountable for war crimes, soldiers who do things that are, well, improper. Basically what he was saying in front of a school where he was giving a talk. In 2016, Pete Hedges said those who commit war crimes must face consequences, and the military shouldn't support them. Illegal orders from the president. If you act completely illegally and ruthlessly, there are consequences. That's why the army said it would not follow illegal orders from its commander-in-chief. That was in 2016, and now, well, Pete Hedges himself must be biting his tongue. By the way, well, they're under tremendous scrutiny, even inside the White House. It seems like they're trolling him because the person in charge of putting these names added an extra S, which now, well, has been getting noticed. As the Secretary of War says, I don't know if you can see it there, but it has a double S, like the SS, from the Nazis, basically. No. So, well, they're looking at every detail very carefully. It could have just been a typo. That's possible too, but, well, obviously now everything can have meaning, obviously. And, well, there are suddenly videos like this one where you can see Pete Hedges, well, when he was questioned by the congressman as he was taking office, and check out some of his answers.
How many ships will China have by 2030?
I think that's a classified number, but it's going to come up in a quick report.
Well, they're asking you how many ships will there be. Will China be building warships? He says, I don't think that's classified. And they tell him, no, that's not classified, that's public. And there are going to be 400 and something ships. And he starts asking him about some risk areas where there could be conflicts. For example, the corridor includes Poland between what is Belarus and Russia. There's a corridor that we've mentioned to you several times from that place.
Which is Kaliningrad?
Exactly, Kaliningrad is an area with a potential for war. He asks him about that passageway and, well, they simply say they don't know about it. He says, surely you'll tell me. And he didn't know. He asked him basic international geopolitics questions. There wasn't a single answer he could give. Not a single answer he could give at that moment. The one who, well, In light of this, obviously, Congressman Eugene Bittman has pointed out that he is someone who is not prepared and this could also draw attention to the situation. Now, we're talking about congressmen who, well, come from the East, as they say, from both the Republican and Democratic sides. They have been harshly criticizing this person. Well, because basically they see him as an outsider who came to take away the honor from, well, the Pentagon, basically. Exactly.
Many analysts say that it's more about appearing competent when it's obvious that he isn't. When he gave this talk in front of all the generals he brought from around the world, he made comments that weren't even necessary. But he wants to prove that he's worth a lot in this position. And it just makes it even clearer that he's not.
At that point, well, he also makes fun of the boats that have been there. While shooting, let's listen to a bit of this moment.
At that moment,
Trump laughs and the whole cabinet laughs. From the comment he makes in the frame, well, basically he makes a comment admitting a war crime and making fun of it. Obviously, well, in this situation, sooner or later, history is going to judge him, right? Regardless of what these boats are, well, a soldier, or in this case, a group of soldiers from a civilized country, can't just open fire like that. Clearly, this has consequences, especially regarding firing twice. That has caused an issue that is obviously making waves among the military. And the way he mocked it made it even worse. In fact, Trump holds back and at one point gets serious and decides not to do anything else and changes the subject. But obviously, well, it's because Trump is more cunning. In the sense that he knows that those kinds of things can't happen, but obviously they are happening. Now, another interesting topic is this volcano, the Merapi volcano, which is still very active. Recently, several volcanoes have been very active, including Merapi with another lava flow. And right there in that area of Indonesia, this overflow is also shown. There is still then a surprising amount of water coming down from the rains that we have been reporting. Between Malaysia, Indonesia, Vietnam, and even towards India. At the same time, let's go right away to what's happening over there in Chicago, over there in the United States, in different parts of the United States with this winter storm. It's intense. Let's discuss that detail, then move to other reports. The number of images circulating on social media due to this winter storm has been surprising. There we're seeing a little piece of Chicago. Here we were seeing, well, different areas of the United States that show, well, a strong snowfall activity. And what's coming, because we're still, well, we're just about halfway through this storm. And there's an alert, by the way, an alert for about 50 million people. Currently, 55 million people are under an alert. And since we're already talking about the weather, let's go ahead and give the forecast for what they're expecting for the summer of 2026. There's already a report on what the summer is going to be like. We're about to discuss El Niño, La Niña, and related patterns. Well, they've already estimated what's coming, so let's talk about that. But anyway, what is expected right now with this vortex that has been, well, drawing attention?
Well, it's expected that right now there are more than 55 million people under a winter weather alert as of today, Tuesday, because the storm has moved in from Arkansas.
There are even intense snowfalls already affecting the interior of the northeastern United States, with accumulations that already exceed 15 centimeters of snow in northern New York and New England. And this system is causing transportation disruptions, flight cancellations, and warnings about reduced visibility on the roads. And the Weather Service warns that the phenomenon could intensify with dangerous conditions, extending into the early hours of tomorrow morning. And the authorities urge the public to avoid unnecessary travel and to prepare for power outages. That always causes a lot of nervousness because many of them use electric heating and, well, they also need to keep warm. You have to figure out the logistics, right, at home.
Exactly this. These are the current clouds from the last 15 minutes. The temperatures have been, as you know, pretty cold. Let's quickly look at the snow accumulation. Let's see how it's coming. And this is from today to the next 5 days, approximately a month of sadness, not what we were talking about. toward the northwest and all the central and northeast parts of the United States, toward the lakes with even more snowfall, the amount of snow coverage will decrease in the coming days. At least this event reinforces that these weather phenomena, something extreme, let's say, well, we are going to experience a winter, especially in the north. New York, New England, and other parts of the United States will get the most snow now, but in the coming days, this will also extend to these areas of the United States. Also regarding temperatures, we saw just now that this phenomenon will be spreading, especially tomorrow. It will get worse in this area, as we can see. Minnesota, North Dakota, South Dakota, obviously Iowa, Wisconsin, they will have temperatures close to minus 23 degrees Celsius, which if we look at it in Fahrenheit, would be minus 9 Fahrenheit. Just to have a bit of an idea from both sides. Towards Mexico, more or less around Chihuahua, where temperatures will be close to 0 degrees. Near 0 degrees in this part of northwest Mexico, including Baja California. In the north, very cold temperatures are expected, at least close to 0 degrees. Also in some areas, surely towards La Rumorosa, there will be very cold temperatures. And in the center of the country as well, temperatures in the single digits are expected for tomorrow night. That's what's expected, so the next few days are going to be quite cold. The La Niña phenomenon is expected to affect next summer. So we already have a general idea of what's coming for the next year, 2026. So well, let's go ahead and get started on whatever we can. The reports that come out from NOAA itself, from the University of Colorado, from here, from the National Meteorological Service. So they go ahead and make their calculations about what is being observed. The Mexican National Meteorological Service assures that the climate trend for the summer of 2025 and 2026 will be affected by this phenomenon. They're even talking, for example, about Argentina, and that's already being reported. Over there, they also say that this phenomenon will be predominant. The report warns about higher than usual temperatures, and that will obviously also lead to a strong summer here, maybe an intense and dry summer. And on the other hand, in other regions of Argentina, for example, in the south of America, which are already in summer right now, they will already be experiencing this La Niña phenomenon. As had been anticipated, the La Niña winter phenomenon may possibly extend into spring and summer. We'll come back to that, and it changes. And in Argentina, higher than usual temperatures are also expected or have been observed for some time now. Well, if we put it here quickly, we saw how in the north of Argentina, quite intense temperatures are being observed. Let's see if we can. It already happened. It's just starting, but you can already see some areas, not only in the north, but even more south central area, above 30 degrees. And this, well, we'll see how it develops and grows over the next few days, once it really settles in. Summer is coming, it's coming, it's coming, so we'll see if temperatures get close to 40. No, but it seems like that's the direction things are heading these days, so stay tuned, friends who are watching us from over there. If you're in the United States, take care with these snowstorms, which have already been warned about. Not this one. You more or less know what to do, obviously. But for about a few weeks now, you've been seeing some pretty interesting images of snowfalls throughout that whole region. Another thing that also draws attention is this. What's it called?
Optimals.
Plan they are presenting.
They're just showing how the optimal runs, which runs pretty well. If it's really 100% real, not fake.
If it's not daytime.
If it's not daytime, Elon Este, well, they show it running well there.
Well, I mean, they present this directly on Tesla's official account. Great. There it is. They present this. It tells me there, I know damage, PR in Dalago. I mean, well, they're there watching the
Public relations in that.
Let's see. Can you hear the sound? No, it doesn't have sound. You should hear the sound. It's pretty loud, right? I mean, honestly, the image looks really smooth. You can't see them anymore. Those clumsy robots you used to see before, now they're much more agile robots, right? That's the truth. It's amazing.
It runs better than I do. I have to say, I have to admit, yes, it runs beautifully.
I didn't think so, but I didn't want to say it here in front of everyone, or admit I did too, right? Well, let's move on to other interesting topics as well. By the way, thank you so much to the community that's joining in. Hey, just one thing I ask you.
To share.
If you want to like it, go ahead. If not, do whatever you want. But please share, help us out with that. It's really hard to be independent. Today, I'm not going to say who's going,
Not say.
to whom, so I don't throw anyone under the bus. But today, a publication came out in several media outlets, a publication with documents in hand from an account here from Mexico. Let's say they do so-called journalism, very pro-regime. It's not exactly propaganda, but they act like journalists. And here, as if I had friends in Monterrey, "Oh, Pepe, did you see the ones from X channel? Yes, he brought them to me. Have you seen them?" And I was like, "Oh, yes, I've already seen them. Thank you. Also, I don't want to speak badly about anyone. So about what? Hey, did you see it again? No? Someone else? Have you seen that channel yet? I have. Yes, good. This one. Right now, the government pays them over 1 million pesos. I mean, just so that for what? It won't be so they speak badly about them, right? It won't be for independent journalism. I mean, they give them the story and it already seems strange to me. But they look so serious because there are some that are really obvious. And you say, well, I mean, the payoff. Just like that in French. These ones could throw you off because they acted intellectual like, oh yeah, no, and then what? But well, I was already saying no. I didn't want to say anything, but I saved the tweet to send if they come after me again. Have you seen this channel? I think it's really good. Check it out and let me know what you think. So all I'm asking is that, I mean, is it really an independent community? The people here come from different, let's say, ways of thinking, different countries. There's a bit of everything, right? And that's great, and I hope it stays that way. But well, that's basically an urgency, right? It's not something like, well, honestly, yes, it is an urgency for us. Because we depend only on you, right? That's the reality. So if you give us a hand and support and share and all that, thank you. The channel will be able to keep existing. If not, then no. But that's, let's say, well, let's be honest. I don't know if we're here for you and because of you, right? Because nothing external, not aliens, not the government, nothing like that keeps us here. And well, this is driven by you, right? Those channels, well, they're not driven by the people or the community. What drives them is money, cash, right? But well, that's how things are. Let's go then, of course. I mean, not only do they get paid, but the governments, those with interests, pay to inflate the numbers and make them skyrocket. And they say, wow, look, all that support, right? It's this, yeah, sometimes it's a bit like going against the current. But we see each other with a lot of joy and we really enjoy it. So let the community be real, right? And that's the most beautiful thing of all. Please help by sharing like this. Sharing. However you can, on whatever social networks you want. Now let's move on to another interesting topic. What's happening in the world? Check out what scientists have discovered. They've confirmed a pretty strange behavior in a fungus. Basically, we're talking about a fungus that also adapted to Chernobyl and that needs radioactivity. That radioactivity not only helps it evolve, but it's also helping it grow. They have discovered in a study of 37 fungi that survive inside Chernobyl that one of them has accidents. Completely different abilities from the other 36, right? I mean, there are 37 that were studied. 36 of them are, well, interesting but normal. But there's one that has already adapted in such a way that the scientists are obviously responding. They're responding to this or trying to understand and investigate it. Because they say, it's just that literally this one grows with radiation, like it adapted in a different way.
As if it were its food.
As if it were its nourishment, exactly. The fungus, known as the Chernobyl sarcophagus, is a black fungus. Not only does it survive radiation, which is surprising, but it also grows because of it. And these scientists, well, they're really surprised. I'll leave you the scientific name so you can say it.
Isn't the scientific name also the longest word? It's called Cladosporium cephalopermum, which is a species rich in melanin that might be using radiation as a source of energy, as food, in a process similar to what they do with the sun, which is photosynthesis, but with ionizing radiation. scientists such as Albert Einstein College. Scientists at the Albert Einstein College of Medicine are studying a phenomenon they call radiosynthesis, similar to photosynthesis but using radiation. A biological mechanism that until now was only a theory, but well, now they were able to see it.
It's already something strange or already exists. Now is there any other information, any other point?
Well, next to the fungus, they found something called nematodes, which were collected in the contaminated area. Sample with no visible genetic damage. It suggests an unknown innate resistance. And the scientific community has started to ask what other organisms could generate certain advances in biomedical fields. For example, cellular resistance to radioactivity or treatments against cancer. And well, that's it. In fact, we've already talked about the dogs that live there, about the larger animals, mammals that have adapted. We talked recently about the wolves.
The wolves that have grown a bit more than normal. Or they're wolves with a form of gigantism, a few centimeters larger than normal wolves. Dogs have also been adapting, as have plants that have adapted well. This time a fungus has honestly really surprised us. It's very interesting. Yeah, this topic, changing the subject here, what image or what are we looking at here? Well,
here we are seeing a fire. This is in Australia from a national reserve called Limsburn Creek National Park, where unfortunately this happened. Right? The fire, well, because whenever natural reserves burn, animals and plants are lost.
Of course. Yes. There's another forest fire happening in this area, right? That's what it is. This is the first time we've talked about these regions of the world. By the way, is there, well, let's see. An important situation that needs to be updated. Today, the meeting between the United States took place with Witkoff and with the son-in-law Jared Kushner, you know? Jared Kushner? Right, Donald Trump's son-in-law with Vladimir Putin. And here, well, we were able to see a while ago the arrival. We saw the photo, the image of being face-to-face with Vladimir Putin. Today was a very curious day, curious because it happened. Donald Trump was also seen sleeping during a meeting.
Oh, sometimes?
He's around there. If you saw, because you know he was going to give a message that was super important, but the message was basically his cabinet talking endlessly about how wonderful he is. Like I said, even the smart one, Christie, the one who talks about hurricanes, right?
Noem.
Christie Noem, yes.
Of national security?
National security, but intelligence too, right? Ah, yes, the one with the white suit, so that's it, yes.
Intelligence?
Yes, exactly, but Christie Noem's security one, at one point she tells Donald Trump in the meeting, now let's go to Ukraine, Russia. But she tells him that thanks to him, the hurricanes this year didn't hit the United States. Just imagine. No, thank you.
They outdo themselves at every meeting.
The idea is that every meeting is about who can say the most outrageous thing. At one point, Marco Rubio insists he's been creating peace here and elsewhere. And you can see that Donald Trump is already...
At that age, he already slept already.
He's at the lazy age. And like he raises his voice a little to this Marco Rubio. Like to see if he gets him up, you know, like to see also, well, if this... He
looked really tired to me.
Honestly, this time he's really going to take it. It reminded me of when they had Biden there by force. So in this case, it seems like, well, in the same way, Trump, at least today, really looked pretty tired. And
they noticed so much during the broadcast that afterwards, yes. All of this, they say it's not that the president works like 12 hours a day. Why do they say that? Well, because he's falling asleep. Well,
yes, literally he's falling asleep. Well, how was the meeting between Wyckoff and Russia? What happened? Supposedly what they're saying is that, well, they didn't really reach an agreement. In fact, it literally says, really, the Kremlin, no commitment was reached. I mean, it says it was a good meeting, but no commitment was made. So this didn't help.
At all?
It was useless for
nothing. To begin with, Putin arrived an hour late. Well, we already know what that means. He's not interested? It was a 5-hour meeting where, well, absolutely nothing was accomplished. In the end, at the beginning of the meeting, well, Putin made a threat to the Europeans saying that if they want war, they're going to get it. That tells us a lot. Hadn't he been seen in a military uniform before? I mean, obviously the topic of war isn't being abandoned, nor the advance and attack on Europe.
Exactly. So, well, within all of this, the meeting lasted 5 hours. They didn't really address the key issues, or rather, they didn't agree on anything regarding the key issues. So basically, well, look, here's someone. No, someone, what's the name of the person in charge of the Russian Minister of Foreign Affairs? From the 80s, he's famous. I mentioned him recently. This man is the one who basically created a method for conducting foreign policy in Russia, and we mentioned it here because the method actually bears his name. I just think I forgot his name. But this man is, let's say, the predecessor of Sergei Lavrov and all these people who are currently in charge of foreign affairs. The strategy of the Soviet Union, since that's what we're discussing, right? And they just keep using the same strategies. I mean, what you do is waste time, just go on and on. That's why all the meetings last 5, 6, 7 hours. You talk endlessly without ever reaching a point. It seems like you'll get somewhere, but you never do. All of this is well known. There are even documentaries about how foreign affairs operations are managed. About that person, I mean, Witkoff and Marco Rubio are very well known. Or maybe they don't know about that, or they just don't care. The point is that...
Could this be the Gromyko?
Exactly. So this character, what he was an expert in was in wise as one of the methods. And one of the points, like his rules, was that if the other person shows a weakness, or does something like being nice to you, you have to see it as a weakness and take full advantage of him. The classic idea is if they offer you their hand, you take the other hand, the foot, and everything else too. That's the strategy that foreign relations uses, and even so, they keep falling for it. Is the topic really surprising? And well, it keeps happening even now. Now, apparently, there was no talk, at least as far as we know, about the Venezuela issue, which is a topic that...
Not that topic. Ignore what interests Russia and China. They like to make warnings and things like that, but they're not going to get involved in that.
They're not going to get involved in that, right? But, this Diego, let's say, things are really heated on this side. But, well, I imagine it's going to be tough from Maduro's regime to even look at it. And really seeing that there's no real help, right, in that sense. But anyway, let's move on to other matters which are also important. Look, supposedly it wasn't supposed to work, but it did. A person, was unexpectedly cured of human immunodeficiency virus after a stem cell transplant. You'll say, hey Pepe, haven't others been cured with stem cell transplants? Exactly, there are others. But the thing is that they're stem cells from people who are immune to human immunodeficiency virus. There are certain people who have immunity, right? So they give them those stem cells, and with that, they get cured. They've cured many people. But in this case, this person wasn't being treated for human immunodeficiency virus, but rather this person had blood cancer. Yes, okay. So they give him stem cells from a person, but not from someone who has this immunity, just to treat the blood cancer issue. So when he gets a checkup, he's already cured of human immunodeficiency virus, yes, right? And this isn't the first time, just by chance, so to speak. Someone who had human immunodeficiency virus, and they give him stem cells, but not from an immune person, and it turns out he gets cured. There have already been 5 people who have managed to get cured that way. This is a topic that is still being researched. But on the one hand, there is already some certainty that the cases of this treatment works, but the challenge is finding people with that immunity. However, it now turns out that...
Yes, very common.
Now it turns out that, at least in this discovery that's been made, maybe stem cells could be curing people who have it. So, Obviously, here comes a very interesting topic. This happened, by the way, at the University of Berlin. The Free University of Berlin says, seeing that a cure is possible without this resistance gives us more options to cure human immunodeficiency virus, says Christian Greber from the Free University of Berlin. 5 people have been freed from human immunodeficiency virus after receiving stem cells from donor carriers. He talks about a mutation in both copies of a gene that codes for the CC chemokine receptor, 5 protein which human immunodeficiency virus uses to infect immune cells. This led scientists to conclude that having 2 copies of that mutation completely eliminates CCR5 from immune cells. This is vital to curing human immunodeficiency virus. It was believed that using these human immunodeficiency virus resistant stem cells was essential, but apparently, well, at least in this case. Thank you. The topic of stem cells could be, well, the key to this issue, right? Obviously, they say that it's still a research process, that they're still working on this.
Exactly, but last year the 6th person Pepe mentioned to you was known as the patient. Geneva was declared virus-free for more than 2 years after receiving stem cells without this mutation, which suggests CC chemokine receptor 5 isn't everything. So there's more to the story, right? And scientists believe that the virus-free period of about 2 years is not long enough for them to really be considered cured. So does that mean this person likely got human immunodeficiency virus again after 2 years?
It could be. The point is that...
At least you gained some time, right?
Exactly. And they're already really close to that, like, ultimate cure, which apparently seems at least simpler than people think, right? Yeah? He says this discovery challenges a key scientific theory about how human immunodeficiency virus can be eradicated. And it expands the possibility for future cures without relying exclusively on stem cells with that mutation. So, well, here comes a breakthrough, right? We've been bringing you advances in several of these topics for years now, but little by little you start seeing more results and more results and more results. That's just how they are, and so are these topics. Besides, these things require patience, and hopefully we'll see more breakthroughs, let's say, in this matter. Let's discuss other topics too. Because, well, with all this back and forth that's been happening in geopolitics and all these topics, there are more reports also internationally, right? Just before anything else, there's something curious that's happened with Avi Loeb, this scientist who, well, obviously is connected to National Aeronautics and Space Administration. It makes sense. He has a great sense of humor, doesn't he? The scientist bet $1,000. He says that by 2030, it's a definite yes, they will find, well, extraterrestrials. By 2030, right? Just like that, with absolute certainty, right? And there's a scientist who has been doing this for some time. A scientist imposed on him who has been, well, saying it, but not directly. Personally, I just mean we have different positions. Not that he's an enemy, but there's a scientist who is, let's say, what do they call him?
Who doesn't believe?
Who doesn't believe? What are they? How do you say it? I forgot the name, right? It's basically that, no?
Believer.
Not a believer in topics related to the strange, so to speak, right? And what? Well, within this idea, the character has mentioned the challenge of Dr. Michael Shermer, founder of Skeptics. That's the word, skeptics. This scientist, Dr. Shermer, founded an organization called the Skeptics Society. Basically, right? Okay. So they put up $1,000 to see if someone could prove to them that aliens exist. And he said yes. From now until December 31, 2030, keep in mind, it will be 100% proven that there's not only extraterrestrial life, but also intelligent extraterrestrial life. Though the position requires that no major scientific institution or government agency confirms it. Actually, it asks that some government agency confirms it, well, some of these visits, or it even accepts biological materials. I mean, you don't even have to be smart to accept the bet and win it. Well, let's say it's interesting at least, right? I mean, it's like the fun fact of...
And well, whoever loses is going to donate that money, those $1,000, to the Galileo Project, which is a research initiative by the OE to explore possible extraterrestrial technological artifacts. In the end, OE wins too.
The institution wins, let's say, right? Or there it is, right?
Dr. C seems to be getting trolled.
Well then, by the way, let's move on to other topics. Just a quick reminder to everyone in the community that you can help us by recommending the channel. You don't have to post on social media, just mentioning us is greatly appreciated. Thank you, he says, for entertaining us or keeping us informed, right? For keeping us up to date on everything that's happening in all the current topics. Thank you very much. And is it Rosma back? Thank you for the super chat, and to everyone who supports with the super chat, super thanks, or memberships. We really appreciate it. We really appreciate that. A hug to you and your family. Now let's move on. Let's move on to other topics as well, which are super important, shall we? Today we're going to talk to you about this image and about what's strange about this image. I'm not going to talk about this topic in depth here. We already discussed it on PP Clip. It took us a while to be able to discuss the entire forensic analysis of the image because this image is leaked. This image is not official. So right away, I'll tell you that the image has a very interesting background, okay? It involves the military's intelligence, not just the scientific side. Pay attention to that image. It's said to be from the 13 Atlas and has already been examined by forensics. In fact, well, some intelligence sites have been showing this image as such as one from the 13 Atlas. There's another image. There's another image. There's another image. These are leaked images from a project related to a military topic. I won't say more. Check out the video and clips if you can. We got it there, right? Alright, let's get to the information. Let's move on to other important matters as well. Well, something very interesting is happening in the sky. Let's talk about that. He says something's been happening in the sky for a while. And we're talking about Ireland. For Ireland, it's practically like we're frozen, right? Ireland is becoming, let's say, a country with a series of anomalies about the drones, right? These drones that have been appearing in NATO. We've talked about Denmark, we've talked about Germany, but we're missing what's happening in Ireland. They claim that the events regarding the drones in 2025 have been the strangest thing Ireland has experienced in recent years. So nothing tops what's been happening. Ireland is back in the spotlight following a new wave of unidentified flying object sightings. This wave started at the same time as other waves. But no, we missed it because there are suddenly so many reports and news that we can't keep up. Well, what happens in every country, right? This time in November. And now, in these first days of December, unidentified flying objects have been reported in a surprising wave. In Cork and Donegal, residents have been reporting pulsating lights in a triangular formation similar to what we mentioned yesterday about the United Kingdom. Yes? Well, these are not considered to be an airplane like the one in the United States because these have different capabilities, such as, for example, hovering for minutes. Another topic that also draws attention is that not all of them are thermal. Some are also metallic objects, like spheres, that remain suspended at a high altitude. This happens especially at night. For example, at Shannon Airport, there are reports of a commercial pilot who claimed to have seen a metallic object suspended at a high altitude during a nighttime approach to the airport. There are also reports of 40 incidents. This is apart from November, December, 40 incidents in the other months that have been mentioned, he says. This is the largest record. I mean, what has happened in 2025? The largest record of the last 10 years. That's why I tell you, this has been the strangest thing that has happened to Ireland. The Irish Aviation Authority has started a review that, for now, they say is still an informal review, but they are indeed conducting it. Although they insist there is still no evidence, they emphasize there is no proof of any risk to air navigation, and that's why they consider it, let's say, as something of lesser importance. The sightings are happening in the context of an excess of sightings in Germany, Denmark, Norway, Finland, and the United Kingdom. I mean, if you add the United States in 2024 with the wave they had, it's also been surprising. The sightings have been reviewed in the United States Congress, and they've even been reviewed among other NATO countries, where there have also been reactions about it. They're viewing it from a military and geopolitical perspective, right? But here maybe there's something more, right? While Europe is reviewing this and starting to collect similar data, Ireland, because of its geographic position, could also be on the key route. Because if we look east, well, Ireland is in the middle. Honestly, the real surprise would be if this didn't happen. How do you say it? If there weren't sightings in this area, because it's right next to the entrance to what is, well, the North Sea that's over here on this side, right? This whole area here is where most of the sightings have happened, remember? Between what is Germany, the Netherlands, Belgium, the United Kingdom, Denmark, all of this here, just Germany had 800 this year. 800 sightings of these unmanned aerial vehicle drones. Like we just said, right? Denmark about the same amount. Airport closures, you know, the whole deal, Belgium, this whole area, Ireland on this side, well, it's really close, very near. So obviously because of the geographic location, well, it's logical that at least something would affect them too. Well, careful with the topic of Ireland. This country is included in the list of what we want to do, at least as a vote. Should we do this with the community or by ourselves? But what would be the weirdest or strangest notes of 2025? Because today was a very curious year, at least that's how it seems to me. Well, let's go then. Let's discuss other interesting topics. Another potential conflict is being reported, this time again with the Afghans, who are acting very warlike. Are the Afghans bored after 20 years of war? Yeah, right. It's like they get used to conflict after a while, right?
They get used to the excitement. It's real. I've often mentioned that some were guerrilla fighters, right? Well, now they're dealing with bureaucracy and they're fed up.
They're fed up, the Afghans themselves. Well, they've interviewed Afghans who were fighting there for those 20 years and who now, for example, work in bureaucracy. One of them handles traffic fines. Just imagine, 20 years hiding in the mountains and all that here and there. And then suddenly every day from 8 in the morning to, I don't know, 5 in the afternoon or whatever the bureaucratic schedule of Afghanistan. You know, stamping papers, right? Like the sisters from The Simpsons, you know, the ones in charge of the IDs or whatever. It's extremely boring for them. And so, well, possibly not just one, but several conflicts are approaching. I mean, on one hand, with Pakistan, they want to get into fights almost every day. With Iran, they've already taken water, causing issues for the Iranians by blocking their supply. They want to provoke Iran and Pakistan, but Afghanistan also borders Tajikistan, where they already face problems with the Tajiks, or whatever people from Tajikistan are called. But the point is that there are already 5 people who have lost their lives. I mean, there are 5 people who were shot in attacks launched from Afghanistan. So, are they literally accusing them? The Afghan soldiers are entering Tajikistan and have been shooting, and there are 5 people who have lost their lives. This obviously is an issue. There's tension, and it could possibly lead to another conflict. Central Asia has officially confirmed through Tajikistan that 5 people have lost their lives and another 5 were injured as a result of attacks launched from Afghanistan. This happened last week. But the incidents, well, sometimes take a while to be reported and to appear in the media, right? Especially in such exotic places. Right now, there are attacks launched from Afghanistan. According to reports, there were 2 incidents, 2 separate cross-border shootings, which mark an escalation in security. They say they've had problems for a while, but this time they're getting stronger. Let's say they're escalating. A meeting between the 2 countries is being requested to see if they can, let's say, talk. But from the start, they have already condemned it, he says. We strongly condemn the illegal and provocative actions of Afghan citizens, according to the presidential statement from Tajikistan, emphasizing the seriousness of the situation and their commitment, they say, to strengthen border protection towards Tajikistan. So they're going to get tougher at the border, right? These areas, which might seem very distant and exotic to us, are already experiencing complicated situations, right, at that border. Let's move on to other topics, shall we? Other important matters.
National Aeronautics and Space Administration issued alerts this morning due to the geomagnetic storm. They discussed a strong X2 solar eruption.
1.9, but they said it was 2, but it's X.
2, right?
1.9,
1.9, I mean almost 2. She was just a little short.
but 0. Some reported 2, but the official figure is 1.9.
Yes, it's already rounded up.
I mean, it's the one that happened on December 1st, but it's just that, well, it's arriving right now.
Yes, of course, the geomagnetic storm. Exactly, well, the storm. The geomagnetic storm was recorded over the weekend by the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, which is National Aeronautics and Space Administration. And, well, this was observed on November 30th at 9:49 p.m. Eastern Time in the United States, when this powerful X1.9 was detected. And, well, the intensity of the explosion caused momentary interruptions in radio communication in Australia and in some areas of Southeast Asia. And this phenomenon has been classified as an X-class solar flare, which is the most intense on the scale used to measure solar activity. This storm, Vi.
Its origin is the sunspot called Active Region 4299. In the next few hours, maybe tomorrow, there could be auroras borealis, and well, also in places farther south than usual. Not as far south as last time when they were even seen in Mexico, but a bit farther north. But still, let's say around the middle of the United States, these auroras borealis could be seen, aside from the possible technical problems. Interestingly, I'm not sure if that's why, but today, Open Artificial Intelligence had issues for hours, and other services like FlyRadar were also down.
They're likely not hosted together since multiple sites usually go down at once only if they're on the same host.
Or there's a storm, or
There's a storm? Well, the magnitude, according to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration Space Weather Prediction Center, is that this alert is in effect until Thursday, December 4th, when this alert is active. And they have highlighted that the coronal mass ejection associated with this eruption is not expected to directly reach Earth. The behavior of the plasma does cause effects on Earth that are manageable in certain technological systems.
no, well, there it is. I mean, the solar storm or solar activity, sorry, it hasn't stopped. I mean, because there was talk about the possible drop in the solar maximum, but it's still going on. So is it still active then? The geomagnetic storm hasn't arrived yet. I mean, it's expected around the 4th.
The alert is from December 1st to the 5th. Oh,
Okay, so yes, it could be.
it could reach, I think. The northern lights stretch from New York to Idaho.
To Idaho. Well, that's it. To our friends as well, those folks staying up at night, if you want to see the northern lights, now you know, right? Are you asking for an inheritance or something? What do you want from me?
That would be so nice.
Definitely to a place like this. Why are you here?
Will snow, but if it's cloudy, I don't know.
Yes, let it be clear.
Clear skies are needed. Otherwise, it can't snow or have northern lights.
If you don't save the ring for something else, yes, that would be nice, right? Wouldn't it be nice? It would be very beautiful. Well, for more ideas,
You're so good at...
subscribe. I'll share more ideas later. Let's move on to other important topics. Well, going back to the topic of the Trumpianas stuff, there's supposedly a contingency plan to operate in case, let's suppose they go after Maduro and Maduro falls, or Maduro says, you know what, I'm fed up with this whole thing. I grab my bags and leave, full of money, but I leave, and then he goes, right? Assuming Maduro leaves, what would happen? Does the United States have a contingency plan? They asked the White House today, and they already gave an answer.
Well, they asked 2 people during this Trump meeting. Yes, but they also asked the Pentagon spokesperson. By the way, she threw a big jab at Pete Hedges, but anyway, let's go with what she says. Yes.
The
Secretary of the Department of War, which they keep calling defense, but it's really war, he revealed today that there is a contingency plan in case Nicolas Maduro of Venezuela flees or falls. This is clearly due to current events. For her part, Pentagon spokesperson Kingsley Wilson explained at a press conference that there is a planned response ready to act if Maduro leaves the country. Wilson stated that the Pentagon is fully at President Donald Trump's disposal to carry out any action he deems necessary. She emphasized they are always prepared, the United States Armed Forces, for any contingency. And well, that's also where she brings up that any attack that happens in the Caribbean, the president knows exactly what's happening.
Let's see his reaction. How do they respond?
Kingsley?
If Nicolas Maduro leaves Venezuela today, what role will the Department of War have in a post-Maduro Venezuela?
And describe the process the administration will use to determine whether or not current members of the Venezuelan military or Venezuelan government have a role in a post-Maduro Venezuela.
Thanks for the question. The department has contingency plans for everything. We're a planning organization. If anything were to happen around the world, we have a response planned, ready. So we stand at the president's beck and call, our commander-in-chief, to do what is needed if called upon. And that will be what this department continues to focus on and continues to prepare for.
Part of what it says is, the Pentagon assures that the Department of War in the United States has a contingency plan ready to be activated if Nicolas Maduro leaves power in Venezuela.
Of a kind?
Report from
Iranian. But they didn't accept him. He's really crazy. I mean, he was worthy, but he's so crazy that they couldn't accept him. And well, he stayed as a journalist. Mad Guess, do you remember?
Yes, of course. Yes.
He's so crazy.
And well, they have him there as a question.
Arranged, the one who asks easy questions,
Who asks convenient questions. He just needs the little bow. Or the...
Patch.
Or Patch or something, right? Yeah, characters like that. Very strange ones are there too. Afternoon parties aren't in the morning, they're held in the afternoon.
Yeah, these are in the morning.
Well,
I didn't copy the morning thing. The United States did. Did you?
what do you mean by the United States? Yes.
There's always someone from the government, not always the president.
No, but let it be.
The president?
It didn't come out here either.
It used to come out here, but not everyone did.
Every day? They don't come out every day? Yeah, they don't come out every...
Day. Well,
that's the thing. Let's go to the comments then. Let's check the comments. How's it been for you? Thank you so much to Rose Mabek for that super chat. Again, I really appreciate it. And to the whole community that supports us, thank you very much for that. How have you been? How are you? What's new? How has this month of December started for you? How are you holding up? Are you feeling worn out?
we're already on the second. How's it going?
The debts?
Oh, well. Greetings to Miguel Alejandro, Marcela, Riquelme Paterita, Francisco Arce, and Papa de Nueva, who returned to the beginning. Francisco greets Rublo Mexican peso. Mora says Brazil thanks Trump. Oh, it's in Brazilian?
Brazilian. Greetings to Trump, but not like that. It's in Portuguese.
It's Portuguese, specifically Brazilian.
Portulero.
Hello to Pan. He apologizes, saying he did shower today. Greetings to the little panther.
Greetings, Dice.
No kiss, no like. Let's see. Kiss.
Yes.
There it is, please. A like, a share.
Or do you want a kiss like this with tongue and everything?
What do you want? Greetings to Francisco Coralan. He says each day Trump barks but doesn't bite is a point for Maduro. People are already tired of the talk.
Who actually says that?
Franco Coralan says it.
Very good, Franco. People are really fed up. I don't know those politicians' narratives and absolutely nothing happens. There it is.
The debts are going full steam ahead. Yes, right? I'm not a big fan of this time of year because expenses always seem to multiply.
I'm just saying. December comes and that's when the ice starts to shake.
I swear to you. You start December, go shopping, and prices rise. You wonder why.
Or it's the same things, but you're paying 1,000 pesos more? I mean, it's like, what's going on here? Hey, right now, speaking of things about...
You have to talk to us about...
Suddenly there are good things. I mean, just a little while ago, literally before coming here, we stopped by a Soriana. And like that, at the entrance on a huge island, they said...
Pepe's coming, Pepe's coming.
A huge island, and this isn't an ad, Soriana. But, well, do they deserve this comment? A huge island of very beautiful avocados, all green, but very beautiful. I mean, they'll be ready in a few more days. 24 pesos per kilo, wow.
I felt like I was in the 90s.
I filled 2 bags and wondered, do they really fill both? I mean, even so, it's still going to be cheaper for me than a kilo. Normal. I mean, we've already taken it. It's already happened. That's happened several times at Soriana.
Last time I brought nearly 3 kilos.
Yeah, we brought a good amount and it took about 3 or 4 days. And besides, they started getting good.
Alternating?
Alternating, not all at once. Otherwise, imagine the massive guacamole we'd have made. Wow.
So delicious.
I would have...
Valid, yes.
But the truth is that, well, I mean, very well. I mean, yeah, kind of... I'm not sure if now is the best time. Things are tough with bills and everything. I have noticed that. Don't be like that. I mean, there were a lot of deals or things that I feel are out of season. I mean, especially with food, right? I often use coffee shops as a reference point because I really like coffee. I rely a lot on coffee shops in general, especially the ones like these, like Tim Hortons and Starbucks. No, you know, because they're always packed, right? And this time, I get the feeling that I see them really empty. I feel like people are kind of...
You can cut that expense, right?
Holding back, right? You know what? Look, there's another little coffee shop here that's not expensive, or I make it myself, or... I make it at home, right? Lately, we've been doing that a lot. It'll just come out. For example, before we always used to go for a walk, and at the end of the walk, there are several coffee shops. If it wasn't Tim Hortons, it was a local coffee shop. I mean, now I take my coffee with me on the walk. The walk ends, the coffee ends. Sorry, the coffee ends during the walk. And then you just throw it in your backpack and that's it, right? But you avoid it there because it's not just a coffee, it's a server, right? It's just that, well, everyone wants it, right? I mean, you feel like having it, the kids too. And after a while, everyone does. I mean, it's 200, maybe 300 pesos.
Yes, almost 300, almost.
300 pesos for anything. Also, on those walks, they usually do. At least here, sponsors fill it up. So as you walk, they offer water, juice, Gatorade, Powerade. I just wish they'd give me coffee. You don't do this. You say there's no need to bring water since they give you drinks along the way. That's cool, right? When those weekly events happen. Anyway, what else?
Greetings to Wico Falcon, Ruiz, Connie, and Luis Alberto Castro. Thanks, Connie. How are you, Luis Alberto? What, Luis Alberto? Is Roble here too? What's up, Roble?
Where have you been, Roble? How are you?
Been there. He's around. Greetings to Roberto Ballesteros. He says, a grenade costs $5 in Denver, Colorado. 5 for 20 or 2 for 100 pesos.
100 pesos?
Here too, it's the same here. Yes, right now it's on sale. It was 85, but the kilo of a pomegranate is 100. But wait, it's just that pomegranates weigh almost a kilo.
Wait, I was actually expecting a grenade. Oh.
No, dude, it's a fruit. That's what they're saying at the supermarket.
I didn't think they were selling guns to people on the street, and I was like, what's going on? Not her.
Fruit, the fruit, Pepe Focus, the
fruit. You go from geopolitics to suddenly mentioning pomegranates.
Are you talking about the avocado and...
You, and what about you?
I don't know what. That's the avocado topic. They sell pomegranates here.
And this one here, they count 47, if not.
They don't believe you. It would be very cheap. The pomegranate?
Yes, well, yes. That's why it turned purple for me. Well, pomegranate, the fruit, here it's the same.
The
pomegranate too, I don't know why pomegranate is so expensive. It's always been like that. I mean, never.
I don't remember.
At least in my adult life.
When it's time to pay?
I mean, as a kid, you don't appreciate it. You just say, oh, I want this fruit. And well, they give it to you or not. But you ask for it and you don't check prices. Today, I told my youngest son what the basic basket is. And he said, I don't know and I don't care. I mean, he was playing. I wasn't bothering or rushing him, even though I had 5 questions in a row, like, what's inflation? Is it good or bad? Well, that's how he is. So, Did you know? But when I asked him about the basic basket, I said no, he won't answer anymore. And then I read, well, he doesn't answer. But I'll tell you then that you're here with a question and, well, it's not like that. Tell me. And I'll explain to you what the basic basket is.
But it's like Peña, yes.
Because, well, these are things you have to appreciate. I understand that you have to appreciate them since they're basic things that everyone takes for granted, right? But yeah, also...
Greetings to Roberto Vallebueno. We already greeted him. Now Luis Alberto Castro. And also Tapatia is here. And Panterita says there are already a lot of likes. Thank you, Panterita, right? Greetings also to Nose Dad, who says phrases for hysteria. Oh, it moved, he says. They called me colorblind and I turned as red as a lemon. I've tried it. Today I tried cooking with wine. By the 5th glass, I didn't even know what I was doing in the kitchen anymore. Did you see the videos? I love them, but it's been a long time since those videos came out of people trying on glasses and starting to act on their own. It is
Real? Yeah.
Yes, it's real, that's all, because
They get so excited.
they get excited because it strongly impacts the brain, just like people who listen. Haven't you seen it? They also get excited.
They also get excited, so they've never heard. Or that I turned red and I put...
Red?
I turned red,
I turned red and I turned red.
red, I turned red.
I turned red, I turned... I turned red and I turned red and I turned red.
And I turned red.
I turned red and I turned red.
And I turned... recent
And cold, I thought.
I would see, I saw you, I woke you up. Greetings.
Sorry.
Ja.
Goodbye.
Me?
Seems like a little kid.
I'm telling you, here in Monterrey, at least here in Monterrey, that's what you struggle with. I mean, if you earn...
That's what you go with.
To struggle with. I mean, here in Monterrey East, and it's more expensive there. Yes, it's more expensive there. So yeah, it is.
I go with the calculation because it's
Complicated. Put in 1,300. It should be about 30,000 pesos.
Oh no, or
I mean, with 30,000 pesos. There will be areas in Mexico where you will be able to cover everything, but there will also be areas in Mexico where you won't make it either.
24,000?
24,000. How?
Is the dollar? Yes, 1,000.
300 seriously, but
The euros are higher, right?
are they higher?
Is it 20?
Yes, Lo, up to 21 they are. Ah,
Yes. Hey, why don't they pay us in euros? Wouldn't that be better? 25,000? Yes?
I have about 30,000 more or less. But well, around there. I mean, if...
No.
No, not even close to...
Renting is like being married. I mean,
Not even the rent. I mean, I'm not saying you don't pay the rent. I mean, could you pay the rent? And maybe a few more things. But yeah, it's complicated. She says, at 70 years old, I feel like a little girl, she says.
she's 70. Says Nose Dad. Phrases for hysteria. With just 1 hour of physical exercise, you can lose up to 60 minutes. Yes, that's true, says. Patience is my virtue. The one that patience is for a load of crap.
That's very good.
That's very good.
Who's in Forn?
He's like me, very patient.
I'm back in Fortnite now. It's official. I'm back. I'm going to make the Fortnite channel. No. Obviously. But if someone is playing Forn, let me know. Send me their email and we'll play together. This one says, I don't even spend 10,000 a month, which is a lot, even though I often go to VIPs and eat out. He asks, how do you do it, Alex?
G. So is Alex your person?
Well,
And Alex G, right now, let's see, are you renting? No, you're renting there, right? Do you know that if you rent? No, well, you spend a lot there, you do.
You.
Go, yes, the utilities.
I mean, besides that, well, go ahead. I mean, you're just one person, but if you had to support a family, then yeah. But if it's just one person, maybe you can make it with less. Obviously,
It's a bit cheaper in Mexico City, right?
the food, yes.
It depends on the place, right?
But, well, yeah. I mean, it also depends on where you live.
If you're in Polanco, then definitely not. Shout out to James, who says, hey, Daddy, I'm here now. Well, in Peru, 5 former presidents are in jail. He says they don't do anything about those who kill and extort. They're missing those ones.
The two missing. Yes, exactly.
Greetings.
Hey, how's the situation in Honduras going? You know, it seems like someone there. It seems...
The other one is winning, the one Trump dislikes. Let me see how it's done.
But not the one from the ruling party.
Narrated.
Narrated, says Francisco, says Pamet, Sorocoba says he's speaking in Portuguino, right? Greetings, very good. They're going.
Salvador Narola has 4016. And Nasri Asfura 39. Who is the one that...
Trump is going.
He's the one who supports Trump.
The pro-government one. The
Pro-government one. That was the...
19%. Yes. I mean, even if they don't want to, they're helping her a bit. How have you been? Greetings, Isabel, he says from Caracas, Venezuela, hoping they get these criminals out who have us kidnapped, this beautiful country. Greetings to Venezuela. Let's hope things calm down soon and everything prospers. He sends a big greeting. In Colorado, rent is about $2,500, he says. Roberto says everything increased this year. How are you, Roberto? No, $2,500. Well, that would be, let's see, about 50,000 pesos more or less.
How big is the house, Roberto?
It's about 45,000 pesos.
And I don't know how big the house is?
Yeah, I mean, a big house, a small house, a medium one.
Small? No, just 2 bedrooms.
Yeah, Pepe Liv says, I think today we all had clown for dinner. He says, oh man, I know, right? Like, well, it's fine. We're just...
2,500?
We're more relaxed because, well, at least until December, right? Well, that's how it's going to be. So, what are we going to do here? Are you and I going to have posadas? Or...
I mean, it's just that they already invite us.
Should we have a Christmas party here, just us? He agrees. The strangest thing I've seen in 2025 is Trump's involvement, he says. And it appears normal, he adds. Let's see, he says. 67, he says. This is the strangest thing I've seen in 2025 Trump's involvement. And it looks normal, says 67. Hello, 67. How are you? Says Luis, how are you? Luis? Luis Alberto, he repeats. A brief rescue of the number of peace, courtesy of Trump Productions Incorporated. Luis Alberto says, how have you been?
No, he says that's not an apartment, that's for a 2-bedroom apartment.
Yes, it's expensive, that's all.
Yes, that's all. Janira Dugarte says, congratulations, guys, blessings. Venezuela is about to be free. It's 1,000 times exciting. That's when you realize how much Venezuelans need things to change. Because in what? Why would anyone welcome another country intervening?
No.
No, it's not something anyone wants. But when you're there...
when you say I'm fed up with this and I want this to change. Yes, of course. I mean, in
the afternoon live show, I don't remember what it's called, she said, we already tried, we can't, they won't let us. I mean, they lock us up, they do this to us, we need someone from outside to come. Greetings to Leonardo Pepe. I know I've tried to tell my friends to listen to the channel, but almost no one likes to listen to the news. Are they very dumb or are we very smart?
the intention is appreciated. Yes, exactly. I understand that suddenly, and then the recommendation. Well, maybe you're right. I mean, you have to think about who might like it, right? These news, who might be interested? You're absolutely right, aren't you? No, so they don't recommend us. Just if you know someone who might be interested, then recommend us. And if not, well, nothing happens, right? Yes, give us a hand by giving us a like, or, well, how, right? Honestly, it's appreciated. Just the fact that you're here, I'm really grateful, he says. I mean, look here, more or less. I think in the last 10 years, rent has gone up by about 100%. At least that's how it feels to me. I'm not researching it right now, but that's what we've seen. We arrived here 10 years ago, so when did we return to Monterrey, right?
10 years.
We came back, I mean, more. Well, from when we got here, obviously you arrived, so 11, 10 years, no more.
More?
Well, it doesn't matter anymore. We came back a decade ago. We were away for 4 years, right? Yes, we were in Quintana Roo for 4 years, and then we came back. So when we returned, it really impacted us. Rents were higher from the moment we arrived. And that's just from that decade. Right now, rent has at least doubled. I mean, for example, in the area where we arrived, we paid, I think, 7,000 pesos. Yes, 7,000 pesos for rent. Right now, that same place must be around 15 or 20 at least. At least, I mean, more than double. We checked that area since we like it and it has great parks. And this one, and the rents? They were around 15 to 20. And 10 years ago, they were at 7. So obviously, yes, so much so that they've even made changes to the laws in Nuevo Leon. Because, well, they've also realized that a lot of people are taking advantage of that, right? He says after 26 years without progress, it's time for our children to move forward. People who don't live here can't understand how hard it is to survive on a $150 salary when basic expenses are $700. I mean, just imagine Isabel, whom we send a big greeting to, and everything turns out well soon.
Says Mario. And I imagine that the Venezuelan people are threatened by those neighbors who are satellites of Maduro's regime, I suppose.
Yes, I suppose. I don't know how well that absurd situation works for them, but... Well, yeah, right?
I mean, you have to take care of yourself.
There, right?
Yes, Pepe was asking you if the little mushroom, that radioactive one, could work as a medicine, maybe to cure cancer, like chemo, who knows? I mean,
But they said no. But yes, I mean, they mentioned in the comment or in the report, they said they're investigating it. Exactly. They're researching it for cancer and other medical purposes to see what benefits it may offer. Greetings, Tapatia. How are you? He says.
Mercedes Garces.
Pedro Bueno, he says.
Yes, in Mexico City, both food and groceries are much cheaper. It's just that you have to go get oil here and tomatoes, toilet paper over there. And look for it on sale, check twice.
Of course. Yeah, that's the deal. It's just that it really surprises me that you go to Mexico City and you always end up somewhere. Not to every place, just where you usually go. Like to a little restaurant, whatever, and the prisoners are there. Honestly, much better than here. Thanks. I don't mean in general, though. This has been, at least that's been my experience so far. And look, if you want, I want to recommend something. If you go to Pepe Clip's channel, okay? I mean, here it is. No, we're not seeing it here. Oh, here we are seeing it, right? No, not here either. Where is it? Where's the image? Oh, here it is, right? I mean, if you go to the channel, oh, I just remembered it's there. Look, check it out. You go to Pepe Clips, right? And then you go to the video section and sort them by oldest, okay? On Pepe Clips, go to the oldest videos. It says oldest, am I correct? This channel started out as an interview channel, right? So here we have...
It was a coffee with Pepe, right?
It was called A Coffee with Pepe, this channel, Pepe Clips. And the idea was to have a coffee with different people and interview them. I want to keep doing that later on Pepe Clips. Besides, we also do reports and everything there. But she, by the way, I send her a big greeting. She's a Venezuelan who came here to Mexico and watches the channel. I think she still watches it, maybe less often, but she does. We were able to interview her when she got to Mexico. Look at the date. I mean, we're talking about that being 6 years ago, right? 6 years ago, she came to Mexico and she already got married here. She already has, well, her family here now, let's say, right? So? Well, she was the one with whom we launched the channel. Here's the intro we used then. A coffee with Pepe. That's it. She was the first interviewee. She is Carla, a friend of mine who is a storyteller. And, well, she works a lot on stories and education for children. And we interviewed her, Carla Monsivais, and she has a really cool project, right? About stories. By the way, look, here he is, for example, he's Sergio Aviles. He's a 61-year-old YouTuber we interviewed. He's from Saltillo. And, well, he's many things. He's done a lot of things. He wrote a book and he's always very active. He's a very active man we send our regards to. And here he is, my uncle. By the way, Baldomero Baldo, my uncle, he's a painter. He's a painter who, well, has received many national and international awards. I mean, come on, he's a professional in his field, right? And, well, I'm mentioning this first, obviously, because of the topic of Venezuela. I would like you to watch the interview. It's 17 minutes, thanks. So it's a Venezuelan woman sharing her opinion about Mexico, right? She shares her thoughts on arriving in Mexico and discusses what life is like there. And I would like to continue with that section later, a section of interviews of having a coffee together. If you live in Monterrey and want to share a story with us, just an experience, a situation, what you do, etc., contact us. There's my email. I invite you for a coffee and we talk. You let me interview you at a little coffee shop. I set up my phone. I put the microphone here for you and we chat. And that's how we do the editing, and then we put it on the channel. So I'd really love to get to know the community, you know? Get to know you and interview you and everything. Check it out to see if you like the format, but it's a very simple format. It's about interviewing people on the street, having a chat, and hoping you'll enjoy it. And also because of the situation in Venezuela, because of everything it means, everything that's happening right now, wouldn't it be great if he's watching us for him to contact us so we can interview him again? One day when he's in Monterrey, because he's not here right now, but if he comes to Monterrey, we'll interview him again to see what these 6 years in Mexico have been like. Right? It's been a while, hasn't it?
It's been a while. Hi to Maggie and Coluna. I'm alive. Thanks for the coffee. Haha.
Greetings, greetings. How have you been? Very
good, says Leonardo Pepe. That's a joke. I was thinking, if I become president of Argentina, I'll change its name and I don't want them to charge me for old debts. Huh? I know, right? It's good. I changed the number like in The Sims and she says, let's look for the house. Greetings. I think that in the neighboring states of Mexico City, food is still cheaper.
Yes. Totally.
Like Tlaxcala?
Tlaxcala, for example. Yes. It does exist. I mean, it has been proven that Tlaxcala exists. We send a big greeting, by the way, to Vicente. No, he's not there anymore. He used to live in Tlaxcala. Not anymore. He's not in Tlaxcala anymore. But we send a greeting to Vicente, to this Mr. X, to Estrelita, to Yanko himself, obviously not to Shelly. Well, to the whole Rupera community, right? Thank you very much for being here. It says...
Tapati. There's a lot of competition in Mexico City, so you have to lower prices.
Of course. Thank you. And there are a lot of people, so it's spread out, but it's true. There are many. I mean, I was telling them that when I went with a small budget because I went to live there for a few months to see if I could get a project or a job. I worked in the film industry for a while, but then got an offer in Monterrey and returned. And with very little I managed to get by. I never went without food. Wherever I was, there was always plenty. Also, I didn't eat 3 times a day. It was more like I'd go a block away and there it was. They sold smoothies, sandwiches, a giant smoothie and a sandwich. I don't recall the exact price, maybe 30 pesos or so. I was surprised by the size and wondered what they'd charge me. That wasn't all. I mean, it was well stocked, really tasty. I mean, nutritious, honestly. I mean, clean. I mean, no, really good. That's what Nova says. I never ate avocado and cream cheese until this year when I tried the suche. I know, my really tasty. That's right, Nova, really tasty. Greetings, Nova. That's what Pepita says, the official Pepita de Oro. Don't you see their faces? It's real, right?
Is this the land of the tortilla?
That's what they say. I still don't, not until I see it to believe it, right?
Does it say tapatilla? I found out that Herrera is way cheaper in Guadalajara. It's cheaper in Guadalajara. Yeah, well, Bodega Herrera has always been the cheapest. Okay.
Yeah, we should do a test. Because both of us, go to another supermarket. And the problem is we can't find everything. We could try going to the supermarket, like Soriana, for example, for grocery shopping. And whatever is missing, we buy it somewhere else to see if it adds up, right? Because, well, yeah, that's it.
We tried it once at Walmart.
And it didn't work.
It cost more and we lagged things.
That's true. I remembered it cost more, yes. And it seemed like we wanted it to cost less than in LGV, right? And it cost more. And besides, there were a lot of things missing that weren't there. So we said, how is that possible? At what point? It skyrocketed because at first when we got there, we said, oh, great, it's cheaper. And at some point we left. It ended up costing more. But oh well. It's just that sand. That sand is really, or I'll say it again if it was advertised, but that sand is really good. It's fine. Subtle, that one.
Sand in...
Some are good, others aren't.
It depends on the area. Yeah.
Exactly.
Greetings to Marcela Riquelme. She says, hopefully Trump lives up to his image. Maduro and his henchmen and families can have a nice New Year's Eve. And his henchmen and families can have a lovely New Year's Eve. It will be great.
With hope, right? With hope that it's coming.
How many would go back for Christmas to see their families?
A lot, yes.
Greetings to Ivan Garcia. He says greetings from Coahuila. Greetings. Since the first time he saw us, he hasn't stopped following us. That's it. Hello from your friend Ivan Garcia. Hi, Ivan.
Hi, Ivan. Which part of Coahuila are you from?
Your neighbors?
We could be relatives, right? So greetings, he says. Chavo Roca Walmart, everything's always more expensive. Look, Chavo Roca, it's just that it feels like it's going to be cheaper. But it's because they always have like 2 or 3 big deals, really flashy. And then when you add everything up at the end, it all turns out worse. But anyway, that's what I've noticed. And in Mexico City, is Walmart cheaper than Soriana? And what about La Comer? He says, okay.
That's not it anymore. He says he doesn't go to Kronos. But it's just that we don't have it here. Well, we do have Soriana, but La Comer doesn't exist here. He says he doesn't go to Kronos. Did you see that they're going to make a remake of The Exorcist? And apparently it's going to be handled by a guy named Tarantino. That's crazy, he says. I don't know who he is, but I have heard that last name somewhere else.
Hey, Tarantino made a short film for Fortnite, so if you're into Fortnite, you might have already seen it. But yeah, I liked it. I liked that they added a little animation of a chase scene there.
Louis Lam says, do you know why there's no human immunodeficiency virus in Mexico City? Look, there is human immunodeficiency virus. It's not even present all over the United States. It's only in the South, in Texas, only in Texas. That's it.
Texas.
Yes, well, but no, weren't you going to Texas? Yes, it's also Texas. Yes. Okay, well, it's actually very small. But here in the north, because there are also some in Coahuila, right? And there are some in several areas of the north. Well, it's already become very
popular, even in Querétaro.
They even reach Querétaro.
Well, as far as I know, according to what I've heard, Querétaro is the farthest south they've reached. I think it's Querétaro, if I'm not mistaken. Yes.
They came here to Monterrey many years ago, about 20 years ago.
Many people here, especially in Monterrey or Coahuila, already knew them. Well, it was normal that you would go there, because some things were better to buy over there. I remember buying milk and yogurt there because some things were better, so you'd go there, buy them, and come back, right? And well, you already know the brand, right? Then they started to arrive here. They bring, well, a very different strategy for dealing with customers. So from that point on, we noticed that Soriana and Walmart started to care a little more about treating customers better.
Yes. To see how they were before. Nothing
to do with it. So they have a very, very customer-oriented service, basically. That's the approach they have. That's what they're focused on. Well, yeah, that part worked for them, right? But I feel like they just don't have it. People don't know them, they're not known in the center, they're not known in the south. I think that's why they don't go for it, I guess.
Hi to see AJ Meyeres and he says, United States intervention in a country isn't to improve things. Meyeres, greetings, Meyeres.
Greetings, Meyeres. There's always that fear. You're absolutely right, in what you're saying. Now look, you say that it doesn't come in to make things better. Well then, what happened with Germany? What happened with Japan, right? Recently, they released a list of countries that have prospered after an invasion, so to speak. I mean, they always tell the bad stories, but there are also stories that have turned out well in history. We must acknowledge Japan as an example. Look at its prosperity. People credit society, but that applies here as well. Society, not the United States, will move the country forward. Don't expect the United States to provide everything.
The United States is like a shock treatment to help you get back on your feet and start over.
Don't expect anything from the United States or any country. You yourselves, Venezuelans, being free, I hope, will prosper and will do very well. Won't you also have to make good decisions within society itself so that everything rises up, so that everything gets better? But still, don't expect anything from anyone. If this situation happens, then it will be a leverage for a different Venezuela to emerge.
That guy Ruku here in Texas, the store to buy food, yes. Chivi, yes.
In Texas and similar places, I think it's already one of the most popular brands among friends here, right? Yes.
Yes, it's just that Chivi and this one,
You see it and it's completely full. This one,
it's the attention. How the light looks, even the light is different. Like if you go to any other supermarket.
I get it, because Walmart keeps using cool light, I mean white bluish light. When you're going to buy, you're going to eat. Pay attention to restaurants. The ones that think about lighting use a light that's slightly reddish. I mean, warm, right? And here it's all cold, so what do? I mean, yeah, it can create a feeling of cleanliness. Well, yes, but what if it were actually clean? But if it's not, it feels kind of neglected, like it's industrial, like it's not, right? No, I don't like the light there. Honestly.
He says it doesn't work. Chivi has standout fresh products. Maybe they'll sponsor us. Costco offers great wholesale prices. Samsung has new arrivals. And what about Comero or Chedraui Selecto? Has it gotten much more expensive? Soriana seems unchanged. He says it won't be just one.
Yeah, that's interesting. It's not exactly like that. You got it with the points here. He arrived here. There was no food. There wasn't any.
No.
But he arrived just a little while ago. In
The fresh strawberry, it's for eating, right?
I think so. He arrived.
Like that super posh.
He showed up here all cool and well. It's like in shopping malls, but less fancy and without posh people. Just where you go to movies and there's a cool guy. But the presentation is really nice. It's just that the prices are more like gourmet, I'd say. You know, like
Things that make me laugh a lot. They initially had them, but realized we don't really eat them here. For example, they had a lobster tank that disappeared after about a month. Because here, we don't eat a lot of seafood, that's right. There are many foods that we don't eat here.
for example, we've actually been to Fresco several times.
It's the coffee?
We get together. It's like my brother and my sister-in-law, my nephews, my kids, and me. We're going to meet there in the cool at the coffee shop, and we meet at the coffee shop all the way to the back. And there's a really good bakery there. I mean, really
And really?
different from the Regia bakery. So you see more of a downtown style bakery. So it's very different. It's really cool. The place is really nice. The coffee is well priced. Again, it seems so. But anyway, the price. They have some really nice little cups. Also, when I order a cappuccino or something like that, they give you more bread for free. Well, you end up really stuffed there from everything. And the place is nice and you don't. I mean, it's much better than at a Starbucks or one of those places. I mean, the price is much better. I'm saying it's cheap, but the price is better. And this one, and there we are talking for 2 or 3 hours, right? For a while we catch up there, and then, well, everyone goes home. But we've liked that option, because then when you go out to eat, I mean, the plan is different, you know? It's eating, it's choosing. It's just that here, that whole thing takes longer. It's longer and you don't talk as much.
No, you don't talk as much. It's better to have coffee because if you talk a lot, says Maximiliano Castilla. If I had 3 wishes, my first would be to marry Princess Leonor of Spain. She's really pretty, he says. The second, for the Spanish Empire to return. And the third, for the gunpowder of the Orientals not to spark. I understood the third one.
I understood for the gunpowder not to spark that.
It doesn't spark?
Yes, it doesn't catch. Yes, it does. Greetings, how are you? Very good, says Hagan. Yogurt is 0, guys. Much cheaper. The United States liberated Paris and ended the madman Hitler, says Patricia. How is Patricia? How, greetings? Yes, exactly.
The United States freed Paris and stopped Hitler.
Yes, he says, like in Monterrey where they don't like seafood. He says the northern people's taste is fine. There aren't any things.
that aren't consumed. No, 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 no. Yes, there are. There are. But there are things that aren't consumed as much. Why did they remove the lobsters? Why?
No, because they'd escape and go to the movies. There are...
Things here that aren't consumed, for example, what they are, no?
Let's say that's better. I mean, I think the thing with lobsters is just that they buy them somewhere else, but not because they don't eat them.
I've never seen them anywhere.
No, yeah.
I've never seen them anywhere. In
Chivi, there are some chivis that do have them. Yeah. No, it's just that you don't go to those chivis.
No, only fresh and alive ones.
Yes, the living ones have it. Haven't you seen them?
Where? That's strange. It's true. What?
Strange.
But there are things that aren't sold here because of cultural reasons, right? No, because of everything that has to do with intestines. All these things made from internal organs aren't eaten here in Monterrey. They're not consumed.
Yes, they are.
They're not eaten. Do you know why? The first people in Monterrey were Jewish and opposed to eating them. That's it.
Yes, but what does that have to do with it? I mean,
They consume it, but did the culture remain?
No, but they are consumed.
Yes, well, they are consumed. Right now, there are several places, right? But it's not like, yes, no, like, no, within traditional food. No.
No, it's not like that. For example, escargot is widely eaten here.
What lies?
Of course, that's true. Imagine that, right? Arriving. So no, Dad told me that Monterrey escargot here. No, they don't believe it. No, but he's right. When the people from Fresco arrived, they brought many things and gradually took them away. I mean, yes, no, well, no, but they do eat a lot of seafood. It's just that it's a different kind of seafood. Yes. Yes, places, yes, several. Yes.
There are several places. Yes, there are several. Yes, there are several. Okay.
Okay.
I don't...
See it because you don't like it. Why?
Is there nothing? Why is there only something on the road? Because we, the Regios de Lucidos, believe that the dam is a beach, but it's not a beach. It's a puddle of water.
It's a beach. Is there surfing? Yes, there is surfing. Are there waves? Yes.
Yes, there's paddleboarding, but it's just a puddle of water. Greetings, Nova. What do you mean about Monterrey? Did you read it?
Yeah, man. I mean, no.
We don't know Mondongo here.
We don't,
Eat it.
I'm going to get more from you because you're starting to worry me.
Where is the Mondongo?
Am I gonna take you in the...
Supermarket? Never, no.
Are there taco stands in the super?
Ah, if you visit a taco stand, someone likely came from central Mexico. No.
No, they're not from here.
She says
Nova, I suggest...
that you go to save. Oh, I already know it. To eat seafood. There are a couple of branches in Monterrey. In Querétaro, it's one of the best areas. Yes, there's one. By the highway, almost across before Esfera on the second floor. It looks really nice, but it's seafood. Oh,
where? Yes, this one is really good. It's going to be great. Maybe you'll eat some fried fish or something similar. You'll love it, really. You'll like it. I mean, it's the same. Imagine we were there in Quintana Roo and we didn't eat seafood. And he tried some tacos of...
tacos?
Yes, a taco of...
Dogfish?
No.
They were tacos and empanadas. Super good.
Delicious, yes. Then a friend made this for us. What was it called?
The ceviche.
That you had never tried in your life.
This friend is magical.
He has the magic touch. Honestly, yes. He cooks really well too. And he made paella for us. Well, not just for us, but in general for gatherings. He always made really delicious food. This one too. His paella turns out great. But what I'm going to say is that there are probably a ton of restaurants that cook really well, but you just don't give them a chance, right?
Me too, says Marcela. I need to find out that here in Chile, pigskin is exported to Mexico. For chicharron, oh, look, it's those little pieces that are in the package.
No, for the chicharron. I mean, the same ones. What's the snack called? No.
But that one's from Monterrey?
No, there it is.
Do you think so? But
I
think she's referring to the ones that are packaged. For the, what are they called? For the beans.
Charros, this one.
That type of cueritos. Because I think the others have to be dried immediately.
Ah, okay. It's just that there's a snack that's used a lot here. Well, I think all over Mexico and...
In the United States too, right? They're called pork rings? Martin says, today only one channel talked about the loss of 2 cities. Morale is low, but the fight is still alive. Europe claims it can't give financial support or continue aid, but I didn't hear that from Europe.
What? That?
Europe can't support Ukraine financially now.
No. So far it hasn't come out.
No. Yesterday he met with Macron and today with the Irish leader, Zelensky. They signed a support agreement, etc. Greetings.
Let's go now, right? It's almost 12. Yeah. I mean, this... Greetings, Francio. How have you been?
I've never eaten menudo in my life.
I've had menudo. I think you'd like it since you enjoy pozole.
I like pozole, but it has some weird meats, right? Like kind of gelatinous.
Just like pozole. The
Pozole doesn't have that?
well, yeah, you're right. It doesn't have soggy pork rinds, let's be honest. This one doesn't, but it does taste good. It's a flavor similar to pozole. I didn't like it at all as a kid. I mean, it was the grossest thing. But now that I remember the taste, even though I didn't like it...
It's there.
Yes, I'm sure I would like it in winter, just like right now.
Yes, chicharrones and ring porks are really tasty.
Yes, they're really good. You know, the chicharrones. Everything has been like that, more or less. I'm paying more attention to calories now, and I was surprised they don't have that many. They have a few, mainly for snacking. It's pretty good, but it says, plantain ceviche, right? I haven't tried the cañonizas. Magawa01, how are you? Great to see you. Albino Perez, how are you? Hi.
Albino, very good. Albino, see you.
Venezuela, a big greeting.
And he's going to do it and eats everything, but just don't ask.
He says, it's the best thing ever, Astrid. Seriously.
Delicious. The pozole, the menudo.
Pozole for the weekend. What do you think? Let's do it.
Let's do it? You can't be serious? Are you skipping the tastiest part of menudo? When I was a girl, I only ate the broth with tortilla and Coke. But now I like the meat too. Just the book in home. Yes.
It's delicious. I mean, that little taste of broth. Like a bit of a kick. I mean, it's really good. The pozole.
The pozole, yes, the pozole.
Greetings to me, Rublos, Elisa, Sophia Kranz, Christy Kranz, and everyone. Let's go, you're doing well. We'll see you later, bye.
Thank you for watching the Pepe News Live, where the events of planet Earth and outer space's secrets are analyzed like nowhere else. Thank you for subscribing.